It's crazy how many of us feel like we're losing our best years because we just can't seem to turn our brains off at night, or for that matter, on in the morning when it counts. Look, if you don't master your mind, you're just leaving potential on the table. But by the end of this, I promise you, you're going to have a simple three-step system to control your thoughts whenever you want and finally, execute on your goals without burning out. Okay, let's dive in.
So, what's the actual real world cost of an uncontrolled mind? Well, let's put a number on it. I want you to imagine losing 500 Ghana cedis every single week. That's kind of the estimated value of potential you're just letting vanish when your thoughts are working against you instead of for you.
And wow, this visual just says it all, doesn't it? Every single moment you spend scrolling or worrying or just being distracted, it's literally like watching your future earnings just go up in smoke. This isn't just about lost time, it's about lost income, and it's about lost opportunity. So think of your mind like it's a high-performance engine. I mean, you wouldn't redline your car's engine while it's just sitting there parked, would you? Of course not. And yet, that is exactly what so many of us do with our minds, every single day.
And this has a name. We call it mental redlining. It's that feeling when your brain's gears are just spinning wildly on totally useless, repetitive, or negative thoughts. You're not actually moving forward. You're just burning through precious mental fuel, overheating your entire system, and you're heading straight for a total burnout.
Yeah, I bet this sounds familiar, right? These are the usual suspects. Constantly replaying that awkward conversation with your boss, stressing about bills at 2 a.m. when you can't do a thing about them, worrying about a future you can't possibly predict. Every single one of these is a redlining thought, and all they do is create chaos in your head. So here's the absolute key takeaway. High performers, they aren't immune to these thoughts. They're human. The difference is they've mastered the art of hitting the brakes. Their superpower is the ability to shut down that negative spiral the very second it begins. And check this out, here's how they actually do it. It's a dead simple technique called replacement. First, you just notice the unproductive thought. You see it. Second, you mentally slam that big blue stop button. And third, you immediately replace it with a powerful, positive image of your goal. The finish line, that completed project, the feeling of success. All right, let's just pause for a second. I want you to seriously think about this. If for every hour of pure, deep focus you managed to get yesterday, someone put 100 CDs in your pocket, what would your total be right now? Be honest with yourself. For most of us, it's a shockingly low number. That number you just thought of? Well, the difference between what you could have earned and what you actually did, that's what we're going to call the opportunity tax. It is the hidden price you pay for every single one of these cognitive leaks. And this visual, man, it really drives the point home. Every hour that's lost to overthinking isn't just gone forever, it's a direct withdrawal from your future self. You are literally paying a tax on your own potential. And look, we've got to be super clear about this. When you let doubt and distraction just spiral out of control, you're not just feeling bad, you are actually failing by default. It's failure through inaction. You're losing the game because you've let your own mind keep you on the sidelines. Okay, so we've diagnosed the problem pretty clearly. Now it's time for the solution. And it's an elegant, three-part toolkit designed to help you take back control. We call it the Mental Gearbox System. So here's the roadmap. It's all about 3 gears. We've got the start switch, which helps you engage your mind the right way. Then there's the stop switch to help you recalibrate and recover. And finally, the daily audit, which refines the whole system and turns it into a permanent habit. All right, let's break down those first 2 gears. These are the essential switches that are going to give you immediate control over your mental state. So this is your first gear, the start switch. Before you dive into any important task, you just take 60 seconds. That's it. You close your eyes and you vividly picture the successful outcome. You gotta see it, you gotta feel it as if it's already done. Now, why does this work? Because you're giving your subconscious a crystal clear target and you're replacing all that vague anxiety with a precise destination. You're literally priming your brain's gears to align for success. Now, whenever you face a big challenge, guess who shows up? Fear. It's a given. But you have a binary choice in how you respond. You can either let that fear trap you in a cage of inaction, or you can pick up your sword and use that fear as fuel for action. The start switch is what helps you make that choice consciously. And that's the whole secret right there. The hero and the coward, they feel the exact same fear. The only thing that separates them is what they do next. The hero chooses to act in spite of the fear. See, it's a choice. It's not a personality trait. And it's a choice you get to make every single time. Okay, now for the second gear, the stop switch. And honestly, this might be the most overlooked skill in high performance. It's about having the discipline to be all in when you're working and, maybe more importantly, to be all out when you're resting. This isn't about being lazy, it's about strategic recovery. You hit that switch, you pause everything, and you allow your mental engine to finally cool down and recalibrate. Now, having the switches is great, but making this a real habit, that's what changes the entire game. And that's where our third and final gear comes in, the daily audit. This is how you refine your engine over time. It's so simple. At the end of each day, you just ask yourself this one powerful question. Look back at your day, at the thoughts that were running the show in your mind. Were they pushing you forward, or were they holding you back? And this is what that audit actually looks like. It's super practical. You identify that limiting thought, the what if I fail one, and then you consciously, intentionally replace it with an empowering alternative. Like, okay, what is the very first step I can take to succeed? This isn't just some mental trick. You are actively retraining your brain, rewriting your own internal script so that you default to action instead of anxiety. And when you put these three gears together, the start, the stop, and the audit, this is the result. This is what happens. You're no longer a passenger just getting tossed around by your own moods and random thoughts. Nope. You are in the driver's seat of this finely tuned vehicle called Focus, and you're heading straight towards your goals. So what can you do, right now? It's simple. First, sometime today, just catch one of those redlining thoughts. Don't judge it, just notice it. Second, use that stop switch and the replacement technique we talked about. And third, before your next big task, use the start switch for just 60 seconds. That's it. You just gotta start small. So, we've seen it, right? The cost of an uncontrolled mind is real. It's tangible and it's expensive. But now you have the toolkit to take back control. So the only question left is this: what will you choose to build with your very next hour of pure, undistracted focus?